my perspective, based on 25 years, it's about the strive to do things better every single day. And as long as you're striving to do things better every single day, then you'll get the journey that you're wanting to. You might never reach the destination because you're continually looking for operational excellence. So running agile with operational excellence by having all of the appropriate teams together, whether it be customer services teams, IT teams, but make sure you have your compliance teams, your risk teams, your product teams all working together in a real agile way, you can deliver operational excellence really quickly. But what it also allows you to do is to fail fast, which is equally important as winning. Okay, because if you can fail fast, your opportunity cost is really, really beneficial because you've not wasted a lot of time and you get to that whole period of continual development. Yeah. A lot of organizations think operational excellence is about what happens in the COO domain. It's about what happens in customer services, or perhaps the branches, but it's about those customer journeys, about what they can do to improve the experience from an operational excellence perspective for the customer and ultimately to take costs out of the organization. It's not. Absolutely not. Operational excellence is an organizational wide dimension to improving the organization. Operational excellence is equally important in risk, in finance, in HR, commercial, product development, treasury, never mind what happens in customer services and IT and branches, etc. It's a domain that's equally important for the organization. And for me, that's the most important thing that you can work on as a leadership team is do not think about operational excellence equals costs out of the COO domain. It's not. Build it around the customer and you will see efficiency and improvements to your NPS and customer journeys for your customers, and you'll see efficiency across the whole organization. And for me, that is the absolute DNA of operational excellence. If you go into an organization and they define it as what can the COO take out, then you're going up the wrong street. From a metrics perspective, I use an analogy in the organization called the green watermelon. And it actually does concern me when I see seas of green on projects or KPIs or initiatives, because I kind of wonder, well, have we got too much resource, or if it's a project, are you really sharing all the risks and issues? The watermelon concept is when you cut the watermelon, it's red in the inside. And actually, I don't react when I see red and amber metrics. And that's a real cultural element for a COO to think of, is that many COOs that I've experienced in my time is that when they see red, the big hammer comes out, that's not good enough and that's not acceptable. And they get the sledgehammer and people get quite scared to report red metrics. I've got the opposite actual perception, which is if it's red, you know the truth. And actually, when you know the truth, you can do something about it. And you can then take actions, make prioritization decisions, balance your portfolio. A real key metric for me is not just the amount you're spending, but do we have the capability? Do we have the resources? Do we understand our test metrics? Do we understand the calendar when each of the projects will land? Do you have enough test environments to ensure that when everything lands at that same time, that they can cope with it? So for me, there's a real culture of metrics around actually, I'm not saying that I like red. What I'm saying is I understand red and we can do something about it. And that real culture of not reacting to metrics that are red and amber actually creates the culture of people saying it straight, being open, making prioritization decisions for what's right, rather than things happening to last minute. When you look at some of the regulatory reports into organisation failures, I won't mention any of the organisations that have happened over the last few years, is often many of them have been down to culture. They've not been down to governance, they've not been down to metrics, they've been down to culture. And having the right culture of reaction, response, openness allows you to have a real good discussion, as we do, on a monthly basis at the most, around what is this telling us, what can we do about it, prioritisation of resources, prioritisation of capability, because it's not just about resources, it's about capability of resources and your budget. Then you, more often than not, make the right decision at the right time before it's too late. So that would certainly be my view on KPIs. About our mortgage journey that's went from an NPS of -11 to +86. And that did include the implementation of a new mortgage system, origination system, which has proven to be absolutely essential in our transformation journey. However, we did not start off with the technology solution. We started off, before we went to the technology solution, we actually reviewed and changed all of our processes, our customer journeys, our case management approach, the leadership attributes and leaders that run those functions, that led to a whole competency development program. So people and process were the first thing that we did in that operational excellence transformation journey. Once we had done and defined those new journeys, we then went external for the new mortgage solution and tailored that to those journeys, not the other way around. So we used a solution that had best of breed, that we didn't change from a technology perspective, but we used our new evolved processes with it to create that combined step journey.